Okay, got it. We are live, and I need to sign into my Google account so that I can see the chat. How about that? That's hilarious. Yeah, okay. So while I'm doing that, I will say thank you for being here. Welcome. This is Next Level from Level with Emily. I host the show. I interview composers and other people who make audio in games, and Sam is the producer. Hi, Sam.
That's right. It's the best video game music show on the internet. That's for goddamn sure.
It's we're both a little spicy right now, which is also for goddamn sure. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having to click through an ungodly amount of links just to log in to see this video, to see the chat. So, someone better fucking say something. I'm just kidding. All right, I'm going to stop with the language now, maybe. Although I did just finish a radio shift, which always makes me want to let some loose.
Right, yeah. There's
right?
the old FCC.
Yep. But I will say, again, thanks for being here. We like to get together once a week to talk about the upcoming episode for the week. And so that's what we're going to do today. And the upcoming episode this week is part 1 of a 2-parter that I have been so excited about before I even heard one single note of the soundtrack. And that is Oxenfree 2 by Scientific, or Andy Rohrmann is his bipedal name, and his his online persona, Scientific. And he is responsible for Oxenfree, Oxenfree 2, the other games from Night School Studio. And we've had him on the show once before to talk about a game called Jet the Far Shore and Gibbon Beyond the Trees. Yes. Yes. And I loved and love those soundtracks. And, once I heard Oxenfree 2 was coming out, I was like, we have to do an Oxenfree episode together. And it's structured such that it just works out really well to be a 2-parter. So that's what's going on. And I'm excited about it. But before we get to that, how's it going, Sam?
Going all right. You know?
Yeah.
Just living life, trying to be a lifelong learner.
Yes. What were you learning about today, if we may ask?
Well, I was learning some more Hangul.
Oh, Korean.
Yeah.
Excelente. That's wonderful. Fun. Yeah, no, I love it. Are you using Duolingo?
No, I'm using some other random app.
Oh,
yeah,
cool. Okay, I'll have
free.
to check it out sometime. yeah. I mean, Duolingo's free too. So yeah.
It's the same kind of thing. I think you get like you have a thing every day, and you go through slowly, and then you can take quizzes and that kind of stuff.
Nice. Yeah. No, that's great. Cool. Oh, I love that. I love learning a language. It's fun. I feel like if I were going to go hard, it'd be better. But I go light on it, and I just enjoy it. I do it once a day, sometimes for 3 minutes and sometimes for a half an hour. But I think it's fun. Yeah, cool.
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, I, did a radio shift. I did some very radio things today by, just creating dead air for a brief amount of time. It's the shift I haven't done for a while. So, and then when you do the dead air thing, you just start hitting buttons because you need something to play.
Yeah.
So then there's all this random audio happening. And yeah, so I apologized to the people and then did a newscast without any sound other than my voice, which is a long time to read, but it was fine. It was fine. Nobody got hurt, and nobody really missed any vital information. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my day, and that'll
That's
be my
the good
day.
thing about radio is it's not too dangerous.
Right. Not usually.
Not usually. Yeah.
Not usually. Yeah. Not usually. But yeah. Next week's going to be a hot one here in Minnesota. Wednesday is going to be maybe a triple-digit day. Yeah, we've got a major heat wave coming, man, for days and days. Yeah, it's going to be bad. There was one when I first became aware that was coming again. I looked at the 10-day forecast, and it said that Wednesday was going to be 109 in Minneapolis, I'm like, that's not going to happen. And of course, by the next day, it was different. I'm like, there's no way. There's just no way. I don't know if we'll ever see that. Maybe, hopefully, we won't ever see that in our lifetime.
Yeah, right.
109 in Minneapolis. But
yeah,
next week's going to be hot. But on time, we'll be at our 3 o'clock slot. All right, enough of me rambling on. Let's talk briefly about Oxenfree, and mostly Oxenfree 2 is what we discuss in the first episode. And
yeah, which is kind of backward, but whatever.
It is. And I can't really remember why, other than that was the one that I was going through at that time. Because I've played them both multiple times now because the possibilities are so intriguing, But because it's very narrative based, it's dialogue based, you're making conversation choices if you're not familiar with the game. And, you do this while you're just traipsing around with intent, usually, the Pacific Northwest. In the first game, you're on a fictional island called Edwards Island, which is hard to say. And I tripped over that many, many times. And then in the second game, you are on the coast of the Pacific North, whether it's Oregon or I think it's Washington. And you can see Edwards Island. You're exploring radio anomalies that are happening from Edwards Island. So they're very intertwined, which I think I said like 6 weeks ago or so. We did a little kind of preview about this because I knew this was coming, this interview. And I didn't think those two games were, I didn't think 2 had anything to do with 1, and they very, very much do. So, which you learn pretty quick. But yeah, I just absolutely adore these games. But what were your impressions of the music or anything that you've had a chance to toy around with?
I thought it was wonderful, and I really liked how I haven't made it through the whole episode, but there's obviously a lot of digging into all sorts of specific tracks, which is super fun.
Yeah,
and I remember that from the last show that he was on.
Yeah.
And I also remember the music from what were those, Jet and Dark Gibbon Rises or whatever.
Gibbon Returns. Yeah.
Those were two different approaches that were like really well suited for the games that they were made for. And this seems like another thing like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the music is really, I mean, you showed me a little bit of the game, and it's a pretty chill text-based kind of game, and the music is appropriate for that. You know what I mean? It's got some fun synths, rich synths, and some really patient kind of compositions. That have slow builds and easy pads and stuff.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. He talks about at some point being just a really hyper organized backup king kind of sessions and versions of tracks and stuff. And the two games share a lot of music, and so he was able to just kind of quickly go back to a lot of the older stuff and just be like, oh, I never used this version of this track. What would happen if I tweaked it for this part of this, and stuff like that, which is cool. It's like, oh, neat, you saved all that. I don't know that I would,
Yeah.
But maybe I would learn to, but yeah, that's a good practice for a musician, I would suppose. Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, it's a lot of music, and I don't think a ton of it's totally sunk in, but I wrote a few tracks down.
What do you got
that I thought were kind of standing out to me?
Sure. Yeah.
One of my favorites, just from I've only kind of taken one pass on them, but my favorite so far was called Beacon Beach.
Oh, from the first game.
Okay, is that from the first game?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, that was a big. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Let me get that one up here. Hang on. I had the second one up, which is totally fine. It's totally fine. Yeah, Beacon Beach is one of the most popular tracks from the first game.
Is it?
And we talk about that too, like which it's not anymore, because he was looking at the numbers and it kind of switched to a different track. But Beacon Beach is like so quintessential the first
Yeah,
game, because these
yeah,
are
it
high
really
school
stood out.
kids. They're going to a party on this
Mm-hmm.
island. They're not supposed to
Okay.
be there, like, yeah, they're just kind of debaucherous teens having this
Mm-hmm.
adventure that turns really bad. Wow, wow, wow. I love that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is about this one. It just
It's
grooves along
correct.
so nicely,
Yeah, it's
you
just
know?
correct,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it just keeps getting better. He just keeps adding cool stuff to it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I said this in the intro, he has my number, and I don't quite know like exactly what it is, but I can make a lot of guesses, but yeah, it's just that track is just so correct, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
not in a, I'm not talking about from like a music theory standpoint, or I'm not talking about any of that. It just like it's just an awesome, great, perfectly constructed piece of music. It's great. I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. A lot of them are like that too.
Oh
They're
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
deceptively simple and kind of a
Yeah.
little bit more. The music is a little bit more leaning into kind of the pop world or something, than the normal video game stuff. It seems to me it's like you could almost add a
Yeah.
vocalist to a lot of these tunes.
Yeah. Thank God he didn't, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We both agree on that always. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, you're totally right. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
To me, it really captures, and there are other tracks that do this really well too in the first game, that capture that innocence from just the high school. Like, they think they're so grown up, right? Just like
Yeah, right,
always, right?
right.
So it's cool. I think it captures that really, really well. And we might as well. Well, it depends on what other tracks you have. Do you know?
I wrote down a couple other ones. One was
Okay.
that I just liked. One was the one that started the show, which is called "To the Valley."
Oh,
Is
yeah.
that from one too?
No, that's from 2, and
Oh,
it's
okay.
fantastic. And I am not going to reveal that part of the conversation because it's so
Okay.
good.
Okay.
We should
Cool.
listen to it though, because it's such a great track, and I love
Yeah.
how it starts. I love everything about this track. Sorry, go to album. There you are. Okay, let me prepare the equipment thusly. I love this little descending scale he's in the middle of right here.
The notes going in and out of pitch.
Yeah. It's just so good. It's so good. I feel like, there's such personality in his music, whether it's for Gibbon or Jet or Oxenfree or anything. It's so intimate, and you feel, I don't know. I could go on and on about all kinds of unprovable things, but I don't know. It touches me, Sam.
Yeah, sure. Synesthesia.
Yeah, I mean, and emotionally, yeah. But
No, it's just also, I mean, just you can tell by hearing it that it's such good music for chilling and playing a game like that. It's like,
yes,
it's like the perfect zen out, and just like chill and disappear into the game.
Yeah, it's amazing. Let's listen to, just maybe one more, and then we'll probably spend a lot more time on this next week because it's going to be part 2. But yeah, I don't know. That seems to be a little more sensible to me. We'll spend a little bit more time on it next week. Maybe get a bunch more music in there, get to it. I won't blather on about senseless things at the beginning as much, but yeah, did you have another one on your mind?
Well, I had written down a couple more. One of them was called Atlanta Third.
Atlanta Third, yes.
Atlanta Third.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, this is recycled is not the right word. Brought over from the first game as well, because there's so much between the two that is meaningful between the two. It makes total sense that he did stuff like this, but this is the third version he wrote of this track, which is why he calls it Atlanta Third. Oh, Minnesota. I have the volume down. Hold up. Again, I just find it to be such welcoming music. Such, yeah, I love it. And again, just fantastically fun to play a game to. And the game is great. The games are both great. They are both coming of age stories. The first, like I mentioned earlier, with high school kids. The second with older, young adults in their 20s. I would say they're definitely adults then.
Sure.
But seem young now.
Adultlets.
Adultlets. Yeah. So yeah, they both just have wonderful scores. I cannot recommend highly enough that you spend time with each. Well worth it. There's always something new to hear and some just really beautiful little melody happening somewhere, or some cool synth thing or something. And we'll talk more about it next week for sure. So we will be back normal time next week, 3 p.m. unless I have melted into a puddle on my apartment floor. We will be here at 3 a week from today. So, so yeah, part 1 of Scientific / Andy Rohrmann, Oxenfree, Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals is this Friday, and we'll have part 2 for you next week. And I just couldn't be more excited. I just love talking to Andy. So always a good time.
Yep.
Find us on Discord. That link will be down in the show notes. And, you know, like us on here, watch us on here, subscribe, all those wonderful things.
Patreon.
And
go to Patreon.
Patreon, if you can, sling some money our way, that'd be great. We'd be appreciative. And yeah, we're on Twitter, which I'm calling it that until they change the website. And the name of the website, right? You still have to type in twitter.com to get there. And Facebook, too, which is fun because we've been having some activity there, which is nice. Adam Selvage runs that for us from Tiki Web Services. And yeah, all right, we'll be back next week.